On December 20th, 1991, just 5 days before Christmas and the last school day before winter break, Laurie Show, a 16-year-old, was preparing for school. Her mother had left early for a supposed school meeting, which, as she later discovered, was a ploy to leave Laurie alone at home. Laurie, an only child, resided with her mother in an apartment in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. During the summer of 1991, Laurie crossed paths with a man named Lawrence Yunkin, also known as Butch. He was older than Laurie by a few years, had dropped out of high school, and was employed at a lumber yard. They spent approximately a week together that summer, and following their breakup, Laurie told her mother that Butch had sexually assaulted her. Shortly after they ended their relationship, Butch reconciled with his on-again, off-again girlfriend, Michelle Lambert, who had recently learned she was pregnant with Butch's child. Michelle, aged 18, grew enraged upon discovering Butch's prior relationship with Laurie. She relentlessly stalked and harassed Laurie, even resorting to physical confrontations and threats. This escalated to the point where Laurie and her mother filed assault charges against Michelle, prompting a police investigation. Tragically, just 4 days later, Laurie was murdered. The day before Laurie's tragic demise, Hazel received a phone call from someone claiming to be a school guidance counselor, requesting a meeting the next morning. Hazel, like any concerned parent, agreed and left early, leaving Laurie to finish preparing and take the bus. Shortly after her departure, Michelle Lambert and her accomplice, Tabitha Buck, forcefully entered the apartment, armed with a rope and knives. In a gruesome act, Laurie was stabbed multiple times, her throat slit, and left for dead in her bedroom. Butch Yunkin waited outside in the getaway car. Afterward, they returned to Butch's trailer, disposed of the incriminating evidence, and cleaned up. When Hazel Show returned home after the fake counselor appointment, she discovered her sole daughter lying on the bedroom floor, surrounded by a pool of blood. Laurie had multiple evident stab wounds and a rope cinched around her neck. In her final moments, Laurie gasped and softly told her mother that Michelle had done it. Later that evening, the police apprehended Michelle, Tabitha, and Butch at a nearby bowling alley, and all three were subsequently charged with the murder of Laurie. During questioning, Michelle attempted to shift blame onto Tabitha, claiming she was merely a witness to the murder. She insisted their intent was to scare Laurie and cut her hair, not to kill her. 3 months following her arrest, while she was in jail awaiting trial, Michelle Lambert gave birth to a daughter. Butch Yunkin made a deal to testify against both girls and pleaded guilty to third-degree murder in exchange for a 10 to 20-year prison sentence. Michelle Lambert and Tabitha Buck were found guilty in separate trials and received life sentences. In 2017, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that life sentences without parole for juveniles were unconstitutional. Tabitha Buck, who was 17 at the time of the murder, was resentenced and became eligible for parole in 2020. Michelle Lambert, being an adult at the time of the crime, is not eligible for resentencing and remains in prison, serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Butch Yunkin was released in 2004 after serving 12 years.